way back when we were still dealing with Olin, back at his excavation site, he gave us a little tidbit about a place where we can find out quite a bit.
Maker's End. Not much farther now. Olin said he found an image of a woman I resemble on an ancient device. If she's my mother, why would there be traces of her all the way out here? So far from Norland. I don't get it. Who is she?
Her name is Elizabeth Sobek.
You! Spying through my focus again? Well, go on. What do you know about her?
Stay on your present course, and before long, you'll know her as well as I do. Maybe better. But be wary. Maker's End is crawling with Eclipse troops. To help you deal with them, I've left some useful equipment just outside the ruins. Your focus will show the location.
Who is he and how does he know these things? He said Elizabeth Sobek. What kind of name is that?
Well, we're near another bandit camp, and you know what that means. That means Nil isn't too far away.
I waited for you. Time passing pulls the anticipation tight as wire. How many has it been now?
I don't keep count, Nil.
Don't keep count. Sometimes I just don't get you. Are you like us, or a little different?
Hopefully a little different.
That's what you're gonna tell yourself. Shall we get started?
So, much like the other bandit camps, this is exclusively going to be me stealthing around for like 10 minutes. So let's cut forward to the important bit.
Been doing this since I was small.
Wish the Oseram would invent a gadget to do
that
this.
mount should be around here somewhere.
She didn't even hesitate. She stood between the assassin and our Sun King.
Either way, there's another ancient vessel here. That just seems like it's a generic company logo, maybe? It seems like the mount was stuck in a house somewhere. So, getting back on track. You may have noticed I've switched out Aloy's outfit once again. This time we're switching back to a Banuk outfit because we're going to be heading into the cold as we head up to Maker's End. It's going to be a rather abrupt change to winter weather. Okay, I really don't need a group of chargers, charging at me. Especially if I want to get stuff out of the supply crate that our mysterious benefactor left for us.
Where he said it would be. Not a bad selection. I'll put those to use. Why are you doing this?
Because I want you to succeed. Good hunting. We'll talk later.
Wait! Damn him.
So here we are at Maker's End, and it's not going to be immediately clear what this area is supposed to be.
Eclipse. Corrupted watchers. Acting as guards. The Eclipse and corrupted machines. Cooperating. One happy family.
Okay, that shouldn't really be a surprise at this point. They've been using corrupted machines for a little bit now. But like I was saying, Maker's End is going to be a little hard to tell what it is, mostly because the Eclipse have been here. Hold on, let me finish this guy off.
Forged dirt delvers made off with any riches long ago, but not the ancients buried in the ground.
How would you like to be buried in the ground? I'll take that as a yes.
Here they come.
Gotta get the demons raised before the ground freezes again.
For the most part, this is just going to be regular stealth, but there is maybe a little surprise or two along the way. So welcome to my strategy of stealth rolling. I'm not sure if it's quicker than normally walking, but I don't have all of the stealth perks I want yet, so that'll have to do. So that was the first major arena. I'm gonna skip past all of the people I don't necessarily need to
All
kill.
these ruins. What did the old ones do here?
But we're already up to the next major combat section. So if I can maintain my stealth here, that'll be a lot easier. Somehow he saw me from all the way over there, so I'm going to take care of him first. And then, oh look! A corruptor. Thankfully, it is distracted by whatever corner it is currently sitting in, so if I can stay away from it while I try to take everything else out, I won't aggro it. There's about 3 or 4 watchers here, and one of them is off to the right and fairly by itself. The other 2 kind of wander in the middle of all these Eclipse soldiers.
Getting soaked from melted snow.
So I don't want to just walk out in the middle there, because that will alert everybody. I do want to grab this one watcher's attention so I can pull him back over to this tall grass.
Move along now.
So that's close enough. Apparently everyone heard that, but no one's icon is red, so I'm probably safe.
I suppose it was nothing.
So now that his friend has left him all alone, we can take care of the one in this pit. This guy is getting a little too close to the Watcher. I'll probably just wait for him to leave. So this guy in the back here, so long as you can headshot him, he never alerts anyone else. I guess he is so alone over there that no one even notices.
With them fighting at our side, Meridian will be ours once more.
Unfortunately, this fence is kind of majorly in the way.
Deal with them quickly. What have they been uncovering here?
Frostbitten tower. That's not gonna come free of its grave without a struggle.
Okay, so I have done this a couple of times now, and that cultist thug, whoever he is, talks every single time after I've killed the last cultist thug. There are no other humans in this area. I have no idea who is talking. I just assume that is a bug. Now that sniper might be a real person, maybe just far away, but there is actually no one else here. And I mean, if you really wanted to, you could just run past everything, including the corruptor over in the corner. There's nothing actually stopping you from progressing. But we're here to take care of the eclipse. And that's what we're gonna do. So as well as a new outfit, I also brought a new weapon, the Rattler, which is like a semi-automatic arrow gun.
A corruptor. That might prove a challenge.
It's not the greatest at damage, but this is also a corruptor, so I should be using fire. Just gotta get that overheat meter up. So the Rattler also has shock ammo, but that is not really effective, so we're just gonna stick with fire. So yeah, corruptors one-on-one are not really a problem anymore. I mean, as long as nothing bigger and badder comes along, I think we'll be just fine.
An explosion.
Oh, and it looks like we have another ancient vessel. This one appears to be more of a local sports team kind of thing. Or maybe a new NFL team, who knows?
Another explosion.
Rotate turret! And fire! All weapons operational. Time to get it moving, and be quick about it. No daydreaming. Soon this demon will be up and running. Another
Has to be one of the Deathbringers Olin talked about. My name. I'll never get into that tower. Unless I destroy that thing first.
Well, now we know what the Eclipse were doing here. Seems like they are trying to unearth old machines other than corruptors to add to their army. So this machine is a Deathbringer, as we've heard, and it seems like its mobility is a little hindered right now, so it's not going to move from that spot. As long as we stay hidden, we can kind of take out the other enemies in this area. So there aren't that many enemies in this area. The Deathbringer and... Sir? Oh. Okay, I have no idea how that happened or what's going on. But aside from the Deathbringer, there is the cultist leader that we have to take care of.
We might have trouble.
Focus. It stopped working.
I've disabled his focus. The rest is up to you.
I'll handle it.
So the thing about the Deathbringer being rooted to the ground is that we can just kind of hide in here while everyone else tries to deal with us. But now seems like a pretty good time to demo the Rattler.
They can't see you.
You can kind of see the alert icons from a bunch of other people. They are never going to make it here. There are no reinforcements, so they don't matter.
They're leaving.
So now it's just us and the Deathbringer.
Steam's blasting out. I wonder if there's a weakness.
So a Deathbringer is a bigger and badder corruptor with a lot more weak points. And to get those weak points to show, we have to do, well, the same thing as usual.
Hitting that thing really hurt it. Did it. Those things pack a punch. All right. That Eclipse officer had a focus. Let's see what's on it. Let's see what you have to say. What is this?
The entity lives. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Oh! What the hell was that? Hades? Hey! Mysterious stranger, did you see that? No answer, huh? Figures. Things just keep getting stranger. I need to find a way inside the tower.
Now, Olin mentioned a thing called Hades. And it seems that it does indeed have a terrible, terrible voice. So, no idea what the hell that thing is.
Looks tight, but I can squeeze through.
Hold for identiscan.
One of these again.
Genetic profile confirmed. Entry authorized. Greetings, Dr. Sobak. Please step inside.
Dr. Sobek, you are 355,510 days overdue for your meeting with Mr. Farrell. Please proceed to the 35th floor.
Wait. 350,000. That's hundreds of years ago. What's going on?
To save you from doing the math, that's about 970 years. So, a pretty long time. But it looks like if we're going to get any answers, we need to climb the top of what turns out to be an office building. Although at 35 floors, I imagine that's more of a skyscraper. And the area around here seems to be more like a campus, like you would find at a major tech company, which is what this is.
The protocols use polyphasic entangled waveforms, quantum encryption, black quartz stuff, way beyond military grade. That's what you demanded, so that's what we delivered.
You don't code something you can't crack. All we need is a backdoor. Upload the latest service pack update and the problem goes away.
You specifically forbade us from leaving anything resembling a backdoor in code. Every protocol to black quartz standard. Your words. Look. If you need me to fudge some projections, it's nothing we haven't done before.
I don't need fudged projections. I need a way to reassert control over the Hearts Timor swarm.
I don't know what to tell you, Ted. You're asking the impossible.
So, codes. They needed codes of some kind to control the machines. But they got out of control. Sounds bad.
So I think we can imagine what machines might have gotten out of control. But there are going to be a lot of text and audio logs in this part that I'm not going to cover each and every one of them because they're not all super important, but there's a good chunk of exposition and world building that comes up in at least the text logs that I want to cover. But for now, we're just going to continue to explore this huge complex. It is a good thing, though, that after nearly a millennium, that all these supply crates managed to stay intact with all of their supplies.
A Deathbringer. Or a statue of one, anyway. A machine built to kill. And they honored it?
Welcome to Faro Automated Solutions, where all the problems of tomorrow are being solved today. With over 25,000 human employees based in nations and corporate holdings across the globe, Faro leads the world in every sector of self-sustaining, fully automated technology. From revolutionary consumer products close to home, like the Faro Focus, to the dynamic Chariot line of peacekeeping robots halting bloodshed in conflict zones across the globe, Faro remains committed to making the future smarter, brighter, safer, and always surprising. Faro Automated Solutions. For every problem of life, a smart solution.
So they made the Focus. 25,000 people? That's bigger than a tribe. So they made machines and devices. I guess those things were common in their world.
So to give you some perspective, nowadays Google has about 70,000 employees, but do make a note that Faro said 25,000 human employees, because that's kind of a big distinction.
What was this place? What were they doing here?
It was a corporation. A group of people not unlike a tribe. And they made machines.
Yeah, go on.
I've uploaded some data files to your Focus. They'll help you understand.
So yeah, our mysterious friend is giving us documents, including this last one, which I find funny because it is a dictionary definition of the word corporation. Which makes sense because in this time they would have no idea what that is, but it's just kind of funny.
Now I know this must seem like a bizarre change in direction. I mean, we're Faro Automated Solutions, right? #1 robotics firm in the world. Why would we clear our production slate to fabricate human-operated vehicles and weapon systems, the relics of the past? All I can say at this juncture is... trust me. We will be exploiting a massive, growth opportunity by retooling and reallocating capacity according to my plan. So I will need revised projections of mass fabrication velocity across every pipeline within 36 hours.
So they were making machines, then they stopped to make other kinds of weapons? Why?
So one of the people that we just got a bio on is Ted Faro, the founder of Faro Automated Solutions. He is most notable for being a college dropout that started his own tech bro venture capital sync company and ended up becoming a trillionaire.
The air. There's no smell to it, not even Old Death. Nothing natural.
So really, whenever we hear from or see or whatever about Ted Faro, just know that he is basically a tech dude bro and is the worst thing about Silicon Valley.
Another cave-in. But I could get through.
Elizabeth Sobek, on the other hand, is pretty much Ted Faro's exact opposite.
Looks like I can climb here.
Whereas Ted Faro is more of a businessman, Elizabeth Sobek is the genius behind the robotics and AI. She joined Faro Automated Solutions pretty early on and rose to being chief scientist by 22 years old.
Made it.
She started with green technology, so robots that would basically fix climate change, and in the 2040s they actually did that. But then Faro Automated Solutions, after getting obscenely rich, pivoted to military robots.
So people were angry at Faro, at the corporation. They blamed this place for something. Something bad.
And they aren't the only ones, because after Elizabeth Sobek found out about the military robots, she quit and founded her own firm to continue making green technology to make the planet better.
I'd have to ditch something.
So, I shouldn't really have to explain what all the complaints are about and what the protests are about.
Looks like the way up. What's left of it.
It should be pretty obvious at this point that the machines malfunctioned, and if they were military machines, so bad that they had to create manned weapons and vehicles again? You know it's pretty bad.
It'll be a long way up. Frozen metal most of the way. Not making this easy, Dr. Sobek. If plants can find a way to hang on up here, guess I can too.
So the last document we got that I haven't talked about yet from our stranger friend is basically a summary of the history of FAS by itself. Basically started as a garage development thing that started failing, then got Elizabeth Sobek and became the biggest corporation in the world. Pretty much Google and Apple and every other tech company put together.
Crisis that began when they engaged in unauthorized offensive operations against robots and human personnel of the Hartz Timor Energy Combine. Now I wish that I could relate that the crisis has been exaggerated, but it's not. The peacekeepers have not responded to stand-down codes, and by all signs, they appear to be replicating at a precipitous rate. Now, what I can promise, can absolutely assure you, is that I am already devoting every possible resource towards reaching a speedy conclusion to this issue. So when you hear the bad talk about us against this company in the days, maybe weeks to come, just bear in mind that we will get past this. That a day's coming when none of this will matter.
Peacekeepers. That's what they called their machines. They were built for war, not peace.
I really don't think I can imagine an asshole large enough to look at a potentially apocalyptic thing and say, it'll blow over in like a couple of weeks. It'll be fine.
Freezing out here.
But we're getting up there to the top. There's not a whole lot more left to go. Hopefully we'll get some answers about really everything that's going on. We're getting bits and pieces now, but we still need a clearer picture. But as you can see, or rather in this blizzard kind of barely see, we're getting up this building. Like 35 stories is what we need to get up, so we're gonna get pretty high up in this dilapidated building that is still, after nearly 1,000 years, still standing. Well, no way forward, so it looks like we have to go around. So the document that we just got is really, really interesting.
A way up. All it takes is a few good handholds.
So the Banda Sea is a small sea off of the coast of a group of islands in Indonesia.
Alright, made it. Wonder what we'll find.
The thing about this note is that it turns out that some of the Pharaoh robots were destroying a pod of endangered dolphins. And I would say killed, but destroyed is a lot more appropriate.
All data has been erased from this device. Do you wish to deploy alpha privileges to recover purged data?
Oh yes, I believe I do.
A file has been recovered.
Elizabeth, good to, it's been years.
Where's your legal team, Ted?
No need. I dropped all 18 lawsuits the moment you landed. I assume your data confirms this.
Alright, this promises to be interesting.
Perhaps we could have lunch brought in. You know, get reacquainted.
I know you, Ted. You screwed something up, something big, or you wouldn't have eaten the crow necessary to get me here. So spit it out.
There's a glitch in the chariot line.
Your killer robots?
Peacekeepers, yes, those.
So shut them down.
Obviously, Liz, we would, if we could. They're not responding.
Are you telling me a swarm has gone rogue, Ted?
It's worse than that.
Show me the data then. And I'll take that lunch. Alone.
Ted Faro brought Elizabeth Sobek here, but they hated each other.
Another file has been recovered.
This isn't a glitch. It's a catastrophe.
Fully aware. It's bad.
Bad?
Jesus, Liz.
It's not bad, Ted. It's apocalyptic. You built a line of killer robots.
Peacekeepers.
That consume biomass as fuel.
In emergencies.
And you made them capable of self-replication.
Limited, self-manufacture, controlled.
Not anymore. The glitch severed chain of command. The only nation this swarm answers to now is itself.
You think I did?
Everything else is just food. And at the rate it's replicating, Ted, it will strip the Earth bare in 15 months. We're not talking fall of civilization. We're talking extinction.
I get it, Liz. So how do I stop it while it's contained?
It's not contained. It can't be.
You know what I mean?
Right. Before the truth gets out, you mean?
Liz, I will do anything you say. Keep working it, and whatever you recommend, I'll do.
I'm gonna hold you to that, Ted.
The Faro robots threatened all life on Earth, but somehow she defeated them. The world of the old ones fell, but life went on, or we wouldn't be here.
A final file has been recovered.
Project Zero Dawn. Jesus, Liz. There has to be another way.
If there were a nicer way to fix your mess, I would have proposed it.
But this? This? When I asked you to find a cure, I didn't expect it to be worse than the disease.
It's not, Ted. It may be grim, but it's our only chance. Now sign the proposal.
Sign it? I can't sign that.
Yes, you can.
That? Liz, I cannot in good conscience sign that.
You've got a choice, Ted.
I know.
I am speaking to you from a VTOL en route to U.S. Robot Command. In 15 minutes, I meet with General Harris and the rest of the Joint Chiefs.
What? Are you crazy?
Now your choice is what I tell them. Sign, and I'll tell them the wealthiest corporation on Earth has guaranteed the funds necessary to build Zero Dawn. Exactly as I've designed it. Or don't sign, and I will make sure they and everyone else on this planet knows the real cause of the glitch.
Jesus, Liz. You don't have to threaten me. I'll sign.
Look on the bright side, Ted. From here on out, you get to do what you've always been good at. Footing the bill while others get their hands dirty.
God forgive me.
What made her solution so terrible? What did she do to stop the robots?
Executive access detected. Express lift opened.
Now there is a lot to unpack. Even so much as to get a title drop for this game. It seems that the apocalypse was indeed caused by Faro robots, but not extinction. So we know that Zero Dawn was the solution, we just don't know what that is. And like Aloy said, clearly it worked. We're still here. But before we head out, there is another thing that we can find at the very, very top of this place.
That's coming with me.
So yeah, leave it to Faro to create, like, the worst combination of things you can put into a killer robot, almost to, well, probably purposefully to, a satirical degree. But this is another ruin of the metal world, so we have another power cell.
I keep finding these power cells. What do they do?
We'll find out eventually, but we still don't have enough just yet. But there is someone who's been quiet for quite some time. I'm sure he has a lot he would like to discuss.
Executive access detected. Express lift opened.
This doesn't add up. Sobek couldn't have been my mother. She lived ages ago. All this searching, and I'm still no closer.
That's your reaction to everything you've just learned? To whine like a spoiled child?
You should really try talking that way to me face to face.
As you wish. Do you really have no idea how monumental are the discoveries you just made, Aloy? I expected more of you.
So, you have a face. Got a name to go with it?
Of all the questions you could ask right now, that's the one you choose. I've spent decades searching the ruins of the old ones, trying to solve the mystery of what happened to them. For years, I've suspected that Faro robots destroyed their civilization, but I could never confirm it. And in minutes, you uncover more ancient knowledge than I have in a lifetime. And what you want to know is my name. Silence. That's my name. Now, why don't you try asking another question? Something less trivial.
You have no idea what I've been through. How hard it's been. My whole life, I grew up not knowing who I am or where I came from, and then come the Eclipse trying to kill me just because I look like this Elizabeth Sobek woman.
And they killed the man who raised you and you found in the mountain as a baby. I already know this through your focus.
The point is, every time I take a step forward, the answers slip farther from my grasp. You just don't understand.
It's not that I don't understand, Aloy. It's that I don't care. If the answers keep slipping away every step you take, then you best start running to catch up. Maybe then you'll realize just how big your problems really are.
What exactly are you talking about?
You've chased a personal riddle into a crowd of larger mysteries. The common thread is your connection to Elizabeth Sobek.
But what is that connection? She couldn't have been my mother if she lived centuries ago.
We don't know the connection yet. The only way to find out is to keep going, to keep making discoveries. Thanks to you, we've only just now learned that Faro robots once threatened to end life on Earth.
But it didn't happen. The Old One's civilization was destroyed, but life was saved.
Obviously. So, what did Elizabeth do? How did she stop the robots before all was lost?
What was Project Zero Dawn?
Exactly the question. Now, are you ready to go get the answer?
Of course I am.
Then why are you still standing here?
Not so fast, Silence. You've got some explaining to do.
I've told you quite enough. If you've still got questions, be quick about it and stop wasting my time.
You said you've known for some time that Faro war machines destroyed the civilization of the Old Ones.
The evidence pointed that way. But until now, I never knew the full scope of their danger. That they could process organic matter into fuel, or that the Horus class could manufacture more robots. Like a cauldron on legs.
But the robots we've seen so far, the Corruptors and Deathbringers, they don't do those things.
Not yet, anyway. So far, we haven't encountered any that are undamaged. At full power, who knows what they're capable of? Now, if that's enough talking, be on your way.
Oh no. I'm just getting started. You've been getting a free ride on my focus, risking nothing while I risk everything. All I have to do is take this thing off my head, and you'll be blind, deaf, and dumb. So quit complaining and answer my questions.
Very well. Proceed.
Who are you, Silence? And what are your intentions?
You really need to make this personal? I'm a lone wanderer who left his tribe behind a long time ago. An explorer of forbidden places, a searcher of lost knowledge. Exactly as I said.
Why do you know so much about the Eclipse?
I happen to know a lot about a lot of things. If what you're really asking is whether I work for the Eclipse or anyone else, I don't. I am nothing if not independent.
You've been using my focus to spy on me. How's that possible?
Every focus emits a signal, a voice. that only other focuses can hear. I know how to string those voices together, how to make them talk to each other, to communicate, even over vast distances.
How do you learn to do that?
Years of study and experimentation. In principle, it's not so different from how you override machines. I override focuses.
And you can spy through other Eclipse's focuses too.
Usually. All I'll say is that overriding the connections is complicated.
Is there any chance that Elizabeth Sobek could still be alive somehow?
It's highly unlikely, but not impossible. Some of the ancient data I've recovered includes mentions of life extension techniques. Pharmaceuticals, mostly, an ancient word for medicine. But some were still trying to perfect ways of freezing and unfreezing people.
Freezing and unfreezing people?
Cryogenics, they called it. But there were problems with it. Given Elizabeth's technological acumen, I can't definitively rule out that she found a way to make herself immortal. But this is speculation, wasting time.
So far as I can tell, the Eclipse are just following orders. It's Hades who wants me dead. Who is he?
I don't know. The Eclipse describe him as a buried shadow, some kind of devil.
That thing that spoke to me outside, that made that focus explode. That was Hades? It didn't seem like a person or a machine. More like a phantom. With a terrible voice.
All that's certain is that he wants you dead.
Because of my connection to Elizabeth. Has to be.
Hades is using the Eclipse to resurrect feral robots.
But if Elizabeth found a way to stop them centuries ago, if she made special weapons, maybe Hades is worried I'll do the same thing.
In some of the ancient data I've recovered, there are hints of so-called super weapons being developed. Maybe to stop the robots, the civilization of the old ones had to destroy itself.
Elizabeth told Ted Faro she was headed for a place called U.S. Robot Command to tell people about Zero Dawn.
The place still exists, as a ruin. The Asaram call it the Grave Horde.
Grave Horde? Cheery name.
You'll find it in the eastern mountains, buried under the tangled coils of a metal devil, or a BOR-7 Horus, rather, as we're learning to call them. I'll contact you when you get there.
I can't wait. Someday we'll meet in person, and your manners had better be improved. Well, getting down will be a lot faster than getting up here, at least. U.S. Robot Command next. To learn the secrets of Zero Dawn.
From one ruin to another, looks like we're headed to a place called the Grave Horde, which is on pretty much the complete opposite side of the map. It's near the Banuk settlement that we actually just helped out.
How much will the snow cover?
So, there's no more side quests in the way for us now. We're gonna head straight over there. So, see you next time at the Grave Horde. Wait, oh shit, I never talked to Nil. Oh man, I hope he is not mad. He has been waiting a long time.
These little moments are refreshing, aren't they?
That could be the least creepy thing you've said to me.
That glimpse of yourself in their eyes just as the cloud of death passes across them.
Never mind, there it goes. You know, Nil, if you get tired of bandits, there is a group called the Eclipse.
That's a political situation.
They're murderers, and they're raising an army of machines. That's a little more than politics.
Don't hate me for being single-minded. Besides, I wouldn't bet on how long the Shadow Cords are going to last, if you're in for the kill.
We've come a long way from Norland. Where have you been, Nil?
I heard the roads of the Sundom were no longer safe. And thankfully, it was true. Ambushes, raiding parties, even corrupted machines. The mortal wounds just opened themselves to accept my arrows. But you knew this already. You've been walking on the edge of life and death. I can tell.
Yeah. It's a long story.
With many quick endings, I hope.
Goodbye, Nell.
I don't want to alarm you, but the bandits are thinning out. Makes you wish you could kill them more than once, doesn't it?
No, once is enough.
You're right, of course. Once is enough. When you really make it count.
Okay, goodbye, Nil.
We're not quite done with Nil just yet, but anyway, back on to our mission.